Huh? Yeah. More conservative. That's how you gotta dress, you know? Yeah, man. The Vietnamese flag.
He lived during the war.
All right, hello everyone. Mostly just Michelle and and Ma. I wanted to make a recording so I could just talk to you guys about our Trump, and I know we don't get it. So I've been drinking a little bit. It's a Saturday night, but I think I'll still be able to explain myself pretty well here. I'm pretty long-winded, but I'm just going to try to give you some of my Ninh getting ready to go to Hanoi. And if you travel to Southeast Asia, I think it's awesome. First off, it's the third time I've been there actually. The first time I went there, comes the train. See the train. Uh, First time I went there was to Hong Kong, I think in 2010, and I stayed there for 9 days, and that was explored the trails and I had fun and stuff. So that was cool. And then the next place I went was Laos in Thailand in 2011, and that was actually pretty cool as well. And actually, I hadn't been back since 2011. I hadn't been back to Southeast Asia, so I've been 8 years, and I'd never been to Vietnam before. Here we are inside this temple. This old man is showing us the Mongolian Buddha, and he tries to make it all special, and then he asks for some money afterward. And we already knew what was going on, but I only gave him like 50 cents or something, so I didn't have any money on me. But anyway, so the first thing, I think Southeast Asia is really, really cool. I love it. And I love it for a bunch of different reasons. It's just so different than the West. It's just raw and real, and it's kind of probably how people used to live, in the past. They kill goats, they have their livestock around, and it's not the most sanitary and stuff in the rural areas and poor areas, but it's just so different and kind of refreshing. This is Kiem Hoan Lake in Hanoi there. It's kind of the most famous area in Hanoi on the video now. But, it's just cool to experience something different, and I think in the West, especially in the U.S. and in European countries and stuff, life is a bit sterile, You just go to the supermarket and you pull something out of the freezer and you just cook it and you watch TV and you go to work and you drive your car to work, and it's just a little bit sterile. But if you travel to these different places, you really get a visceral sense of what is available. And it's not always good, but it's not always bad either. And Hanoi here, and where we're at right now, we actually experienced some really weird stuff. This lake is actually this area. They closed down the street on the weekend. All the government buildings are around here and the embassies and stuff. It's a really beautiful area, French colonial architecture. However, the area has a really bad reputation for theft and for drug use. I saw opium pipes out in the open, and if you go south to Ho Chi Minh City and stuff, you can see people shooting up needles and shit, shooting up with needles rather, on the street and stuff. And this also has a bad reputation for child sex. Actually, this area in particular, bald, fat Westerner, talking to this little girl and with her family, and it just seemed very strange. And I did some research, and I found that last year alone, the Vietnamese government busted about 600 pedophiles trying to pick up, little kids in just in Hanoi alone. So you can imagine how widespread the problem is. But anyway, overall, the visit to the country was really good, but it kind of shocked us for a couple of reasons. The first reason was the communism, and it didn't really hit us until we went to Hanoi and to the museums and stuff, and we really got to see the bias, kind of propagandist perspective of history and of just world matters and everything else. So the propagandist perspective is that you're always the victim, and your country is always valiant and brave, and everyone else is trying to take advantage of you. And that's just not the reality. It's not how things are. I appreciate that. I didn't appreciate that. It kind of shocked me. And then also getting scammed, as soon as we flew into Da Nang Airport. I think it was partially my fault for not exactly doing the visa properly, but I could tell also that it was a set-up scam. Here we are on the train. This is Tamkok again at a temple. But it was also set up as a scam to where they scam tourists out of money. So I had to pay $160 when I got to Da Nang. Right when I first got to the country, I had to deal with that, and it was kind of a bummer, to say the least. But then Hoi An, where we stayed in central Vietnam, was amazing. Really, really cool area, and I would take you guys there. You guys would really enjoy it. Really, really cool. But some of the other parts, like especially Hanoi and probably Ho Chi Minh City, I would just avoid the big cities, because the scamming is out of control, and the touting is out of control, and the traffic is out of control, and it's in the heat, and it's just really visceral. And I had a student. I'm teaching classes now again, and one of my students went to the Philippines, and he said him and his family saw a dead body on the street because Duterte's drug war, And he didn't know anything about Duterte. He didn't know anything about the drug war. They've killed over 6,000 people. That's probably an old number, even from 6 months ago, so it's probably higher now. But he didn't know if it was just a drug thing or if the police had killed the kid. But, he saw that, and I could tell that he had PSD from that dead body that he saw. Anyway, we had a great trip. I recommend you guys. I would like to take you guys to one of these countries like this, and as you can see, it's in a city like that. It's wealthy and prospering, and people are doing great. It's good to see cows and goats and a little simpler way of life sometimes. So I would take you guys to a place like this in a heartbeat, and I think it'd be good for you. And Mom, you've gone to Mexico a bunch of times, so you probably know a little bit what the scene is, but. It's just it's good to the coolest thing I think is you really appreciate what you have, and you really appreciate, not in terms of convenience and cleanliness and all this stuff, but you also just you just learn stuff. Here we are in the Ho Chi Minh Museum, totally biased. But anyways, it was a good trip, and hopefully I shared something with you in this recording. I'm gonna try to cut it off here, and hopefully you guys are having a good weekend.